If the forecast held, we'd see the first flakes in early afternoon, with measurable snow within an hour or two. After that, it was anyone's guess. The Cabot Cove Public Works Department maintained only 2 dedicated plows, but usually contracted a half-dozen local vendors, many of them fishermen and landscapers, looking to boost their winter income. For this storm, though, Mort had mentioned that twice that number, an even dozen, had been retained. The main roads that ran into, out of, and around our town were the responsibility of the state, fortunately. And in my mind, anyway, the lack of traffic that accompanied the foreboding forecast proved a welcome relief from the ever-growing number of seasonal visitors who besieged Cabot Cove during the summer months. "Why stare out the window, Jess?" Seth Hazlitt said to me, "when I told you the snow wasn't going to start until 1-ish. "What time is that exactly?" Mort asked him. "What time is what exactly?" 1-ish. "Sometime between 1 and 2 o'clock, but not after 1:30 because that would be 2-ish. "Oh," Mort noted, as if that were some kind of revelation. "Well, there's one good thing about a blizzard, Mrs. F," he added, turning toward me. "No crime?" "Murder, specifically, with everybody pretty much stranded." "I wouldn't be too sure about that, Sheriff," Seth groused. "During the blizzard of '79, Agnes Manfredi took a frying pan to her husband George's head when he wouldn't shovel their walk. Ended up with a concussion that stole a whole bunch of his memory for a time. Not a bad thing, given that Agnes was the kind of woman you wanted to forget. I'd opened my practice the year before, and I remember trudging my way over to the Manfredi home because the rescue squad got stuck in a snowdrift." Mort Metzger was nodding. "Don't tell me, Doc. Uphill all the way." "As a matter of fact," Seth's voice had already faded when I heard a Cabot Cove Sheriff's Department dispatcher's voice through Mort's shoulder-mounted microphone. "You read me, Sheriff?" "Loud and clear." "You're needed at the old textile mill off Route 1. Abandoned vehicle. Deputy Jenks just called it in." "Why does he need backup for an abandoned vehicle?" "Because he found a dead body inside." There's a part of Cabot Cove located on the town's outskirts that nobody talks about much anymore. It's part of our legacy and our past, dating back long before the world discovered our village, which had remained quaint and isolated for so long. I'm talking about an area devoted to industry, primarily textile mills that had been set up during the Industrial Revolution. The largest of these was the long-shuttered and crumbling Cabot Manufacturing Company. It had been saved from being razed only by our local historical society's designation of it as a landmark, marked as such by a plaque that had to be glued in place over the entrance since it was feared nailing the plaque might lead the rotting facade to collapse. In a gravel parking lot, we found a plain dark sedan, centered in the shadow of a still massive structure that seemed to shed fresh parts of itself with every stiff wind. "Thanks for coming along for the ride, Mrs. F," Mort said, parking his department-issue SUV near the patrol car that had come upon the vehicle during a routine sweep of the area. "Even though this one's not up your alley." "We'll see about that, Aya," Seth Hazlitt said from the cruiser's back seat. "Since when did you know a death in Cabot Cove that wasn't murder?" "There was Gladys McGrady just last week," Mort answered, throwing open his door. "She was 101, Seth reminded him. "Used to tell me at her checkup she enjoyed a spot of gin every day since she was 50, and said it was the reason she'd lived so long." Mort turned to flash me a look before climbing out of the SUV. "I could see how this town could be enough to drive anyone to drink, and I don't mean for medicinal purposes either." I started to exit.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.